Another role of the GM is to wheel and deal. That's what Kyle Dubas did this summer, bringing in Tyson Barrie from the Colorado Avalanche. But did the Leafs, Mike, do enough on their back end to kind of shore up the deficiencies they had there last season?
I don't think so, and I think that they're actually less prepared to win in the playoffs than they were a few months ago before they made these moves. And this is to take nothing away from Tyson Barrie, who is a tremendous defenseman, a great puck mover, a great offensive defenseman. But in order to get him, they gave up a great defensive forward and a great two-way forward in Nazem Kadri. And the biggest problem with the Maple Leafs to me is that they seem to have built this team out on a theory of puck possession, which is if we have the puck all the time, we don't have to worry about defending as much because we're just going to push the pace of the play. Now, I want to break this down for you and show you last season the percentage of the games spent in the defensive zone. The Carolina Hurricanes spent the fewest amount of time in their own end of any team in the league. The Rangers spent... Yep, absolutely. The Rangers spent the most. The Maple Leafs actually didn't spend a ton of time in their defensive end. They're ninth in the league at 38%. But the big thing here is from the team that spent the most time to the team that spent the least, it's a 5% difference. And what this tells me is no matter how much you have the puck, no matter how good you are, you're going to have to defend. And the biggest problem for the Toronto Maple Leafs last season, and they certainly ran into this in the playoffs, is defending in zone. This is the regular season. Against the cycle, against cycle plays, the Maple Leafs were bottom 5 in how many scoring chances they allowed off the cycle. They had trouble breaking up cycle plays. When you look at the goals that the Toronto Maple Leafs allowed last season off the cycle, again, they're bottom 5. So the Toronto Maple Leafs' biggest issue to me, and when you're talking about going into the playoffs, you are likely again going to be facing Boston or Tampa, two of the best teams in the NHL at creating in-zone offense. The Maple Leafs' biggest issue to me was and continues to be, how do we defend in our own end? How do we break up the cycle? Who do we have that can do that? You look at their D-core, they're great puck movers and great guys that can make outlet passes and skate the puck. To me, they're no better off in terms of addressing their biggest weakness, and I think that's a huge problem.
Yeah, clearly, and obviously in their eyes, because there's always two sides of it, they think that a guy like Cody Ceci, Jake Muzzin, who they brought in last year, those guys are going to be relied on heavily. We know what Morgan Riley is going to give them. Yeah. We know about his all-around play and his stellar play, quite frankly. But then they're going to have to get internal growth from their younger players. That's what they're betting on. Do they share your same philosophy? Everybody is going to interpret these things differently. They obviously feel very confident in their strategy, but when you see how little the difference is, it does start to show some cracks potentially in that theory that we're just going to have a puck all the time, we're never going to defend. So it doesn't really matter. We'll get Tyson Barrie, he's going to be on offense. That's not the case. I will say this about Tyson, though, last year, and watching him in the playoffs with the Colorado Avalanche, he played tremendous, much better defensively than I expected him to. So that would be an area they're hoping to see as well.